Dem Drunk Blokes Productions proudly presents The Good.
Looking at my figures, it didn't really go down well with anyone. He goes into a forest, sees Jessica Alba, goes, ooh, ooh. It was the last time that Marvel made a film before Kevin Feige went, hold my beer.
The Great.
I would do anything for love. They just carried on. Hey, I'm here. No. Was it used in between the two Charlie and the Shotgun?
And Logan X.
I thought your favourite film was Brokeback Mountain. I was getting confused.
Listen, that's between me and Scott, and stay the fuck
Well,
out
well,
of it. You guys have raised it above Lukey's status. I hope you're ashamed of yourselves. Oh, look what I did. I stole a fact. What a cunt. Hello, and welcome back. Yes, we have another episode of GGL out here. It's actually this is going to be one of my favourite episodes, hopefully, because we are finally, after this initial failure, we're going to go into our MCU.
I thought your favourite film was Brokeback Mountain. I was getting confused.
Listen, that's between me and Scott, and stay the fuck out of it, alright? It's nothing to do with you, alright?
Thankfully.
As you can hear, we've got the whole crew here, and we are The Good.
I'm Scott, and that's Smurf Rider on Twitter.
The Great.
I'm DDB Comics Guy and D3G Comics on Twitter, but now all starting to become nerdisms. And I am Renegade Logan X. I need no introduction, really. Anyway, so moving swiftly on. The first film we're going to come to today, because we're only doing two, because one of them is so big, is the second instalment of Fantastic Four. So it's Rise of the Silver Surfer, this one. We're going to go straight in. Let's get some film facts about it.
Okay, do you want to go film fact or do the up review afterwards?
You can give an up view, but there isn't really a plot.
It was a film.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really an up view. We start with Sue and Reed getting hitched. Then the team of four face an intergalactic. What do you call him? A messenger?
Cloud.
Yeah, well, I've got messenger. I mean, I don't. An intergalactic messenger.
He's a herald. Herald of Galactus.
Herald, and he's one of the many heralds of Galactus.
Yeah, well, I put messenger because I'm trying.
Oh, look what I did! I stole a fact.
Intergalactic messenger who has come to prepare Earth for its destruction.
Herald.
I can't say herald.
You just did.
Herald.
He's going to call him Harold.
Harold Bishop.
While the Silver Surfer wreaks havoc across the globe, the Fantastic Four must also contend with the unexpected return of their evil nemesis Victor Von Doom.
Not a herald.
And then I've just gone into kind of, you throw in Galactus for no apparent reason really at all, and then they believe they killed the Silver Surfer with a huge blast of energy.
Who's a herald?
They kill Harold.
No, I'm doing my best here, guys. And then they finish with Sue and Reed getting married in Japan.
Neither of them heralds.
No.
And
that's pretty much
this is all. That's. I mean, you can't really give it much more than that. Go on, Dan. Give us some comic facts, of which there are none.
No, this is the annoying part.
This is going to be. I'm assuming what this is going to be is you writing all the things that they got wrong.
Well, they actually done one thing perfect. Stan Lee's cameo in the comics for Reed and Sue's wedding. Stan Lee is in it and gets knocked back from the wedding, like the film.
And that's the only thing they got right.
They named the characters right.
That's the only two things they got right.
And the Silver Surfer is the Herald of Galactus. That's something else they got right.
So Harold, Stan Lee getting knocked back, and the names.
And originally, sadly, Jack Kirby also got knocked back, but Jack Kirby died a long time ago.
No. Shit the bed.
But this is actually based on Stan Lee's and Jack Kirby's magnum opus, Fantastic Four, issues 48 to 50, the Galactus trilogy.
I'm assuming this is going to be some sort of landmark.
This is what most comic book people say was Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, both at their very best together. These are, after the first appearances, for die-hard comic book fans, these are probably three of the most sought-after comics out there.
So I'm assuming that what they did to this film didn't go down well with comic book fans.
To put it mildly, no.
Looking at my figures, it didn't really go down well with anyone, if I'm honest.
Go on, Dan.
What comic facts can I give you? They actually use the FF Mobile in this.
Yeah.
Yes.
They all sit in.
Yeah.
I know I've done the running all wrong, right? But
That's why I'm gonna get a comic. I haven't got a lot.
Just get these comic facts out of the way because there's going to be so much comically wrong with this.
Hold on.
There's so much film-wise wrong with it.
No, there's still no comic facts.
Go on.
It's not even a fact. This is how bad this film is. The only other thing that they got right was kind of the Human Torch and the Thing becoming more and more like pally, because that's something in the comics. There's like moments where they've looked at a panel in a comic when I like that, and then
brotherly, they're almost brothers. Yeah,
like because obviously Reed and Sue are doing their thing, so they're the Fantastic Four, but then those two are left by themselves mostly.
Yeah.
And it's especially poignant watching this film because they actually relaunched the Fantastic Four in the comics after a 2-year break this summer.
Oh, really?
And we will put this out on time, so it will be this summer.
So not much more, really. I mean, they got pretty much everything wrong, I'm assuming, in terms of...
Well, they're too occupied with the male gaze. Again.
I've got a massive fact on that one. That is ridiculous. It's just an awful, not even male gaze, it's an awful...
But I mean, Galactus was wrong.
Yeah. He has been a cloud once, but everyone when you hear Galactus, everyone sees the same thing.
Yeah, the big robot.
Yeah, we don't see...
Yeah.
They just kind of go, hey ya, I'll meet ya. No.
Hey ya.
Hey ya, you look tasty.
It literally... yeah. So that, I mean, that's all you've got in terms of the...
Yeah, this is my non-comic thing. I'm getting in before Scott goes. How do you FF skin? In this film, they're like basically supposed to be skin.
Mm-hmm.
How does that happen? Look at the amount of sponsorships Human Torch had at the end of the fourth one. How are they skin?
He's got on his suit in this one. He's got a full suit of sponsorships.
Oh yeah, isn't he?
Ridiculous.
Anyway.
So, go on then. Basically, what we're saying to you is, if you're into comic books and you haven't watched this film, don't watch it.
Take it out of the case, turn it upside down and use it as a coaster.
There's nothing even remotely from the comic books, I'm assuming, that especially the ones where it was based on, that
this is like a sad moment for comic book fans.
Brilliant. So Scott, let's find out how bad this did in the cinema as well.
Right, it was released in 2007. Tim Story was the director of the first one. He came back to do this one.
Yeah.
He'd actually planned to make 5 of these. But obviously, with the box office bombing of this one, it had a budget of 130 million, believe it or not. And it made 58 million in the opening weekend in the United States, 4 million in the UK. So it started quite strong, really.
Yeah. And then everyone heard about it.
Yeah, and then the second week drop off was nearly 60%. So it was only made 289 million world gross. So it only just sort of over doubled its.
But I don't suppose it was so much the fact that it didn't make a huge amount of money. It was also the fact that it just got slated.
Yeah, just the drop off of it was terrible. I mean,
it did get slated from what I remember. And since the Rise of the Silver Surfer, they've never been able to do a decent Fantastic Four film.
No,
they've never done a decent one before.
We quite liked the original one. It was enjoyable.
Was a good popcorn kind of movie.
This one wasn't even worth the popcorn.
No, I mean, it got beat in 2000.
Tomato, Last Jedi, Solo.
In 2007,
you're wrong about all of them.
This come 18th in 2007, right? And it was beaten by classics such as Die Hard 4.
That was awful!
Yeah. Wild Hogs, Alvin and the Chipmunks, and Spider-Man 3, which was number 1 that year.
Non-film fact, Alvin
Spider-Man
is the same
3.
height as Smurf Rider.
Who?
Alvin from Alvin and the Chipmunks is the same height as Smurf.
We're around about the same height.
He was a stunt double in the film Smurf.
Right, now I can knock off...
Theodore, because he's more the plumper, smaller one, isn't he?
I have exactly 7 film facts for this film, because nothing happened, right?
Go on, Theo.
Right, so... Tim Story, this is the male gaze.
Go on,
Tim Story, you talk about the male gaze, right? Yeah. Tim Story actually went up to Jessica Alba at one point during this and said, listen, I need you to be pretty. So you're going to have a crying scene here. Don't cry because it makes your face look ugly. We will CGI the tears into this scene.
He's the idiot who must have wrote that thing with Eva Mendes in Ghost Rider.
That is so ridiculous. That's why she's got blue eyes in this. That's why she has to wear a certain wig so she looks incredibly gorgeous.
Goddamn wig.
So
that was an awful. It didn't even suit her.
It was because she didn't want to put bleach in her hair because it was ruining her hair, but he wanted to make her look as pretty as possible and pretty much just be a pretty woman in this film.
Just a babe.
Just a babe. That's all. That's because she was so.
Which once again, it was touched on in the first Fantastic Four. We touched on it. Just absolutely no need, because Sue Storm is supposed to be strong, independent, intelligent, very, very capable of looking after herself sort of woman. For some reason, just getting her tits out, crying a lot, and needing the men in her life.
Okay, fact 2 of 7. I've only got 7. That's all I've got.
Yeah.
Nick Fury was originally in this film. He was playing General Hager. You know, the guy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah.
He was playing him. Kevin Feige saw the early drafts of it and went, "That makes Nick Fury look like a dick. Take him out. He's not being in it because I need Nick Fury later on next year, which we know we'll come to." So Nick Fury was written out of this. Wrote.
Harold.
The fantastic car Dan mentioned was supposed to be a big surprise. That was kept out of the media. The fantastic car. It was kept out of it. It cost so much to do it that they could only have it in the film for 15 minutes or whatever it was that it was actually in the film for. Because they blew all their budget elsewhere. There was a third film planned and a solo Silver Surfer movie. But because of the massive drop-off, both of them were cancelled. There was an extra Silver Surfer scene at the end, which he awakes. It's not really a film fact, but I'm clutching at straws. And the Thing's suit...
I didn't even know there's an extra film credit at the end.
Basically, he's floating around in
floating out
space.
in the eyes, ain't it?
He opens his eyes so they could set up a new one.
I don't care.
It was, no one cared. That's why it was cancelled. And the Thing's suit went from a 6-hour process of putting it on to 3 hours.
Oh, so they improved the time that they could get the Thing ready.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
That's well done for that film.
Other than that,
I didn't like the film at all.
Well, it comes 39th out of 48 Marvel films, so no one really likes it.
No one really likes it at all. What did you think of it, Scott? Honestly, just watching
coming at this from a non-comic book fan, I enjoyed the first one because it was fun, it was poppy, it was kind of silly.
Yeah, we both had a similar view on the first one.
This one was so hard to watch. Jessica Alba's character was really annoying.
Well, just in film things, there's problems, ain't there? Why send Dr. Doom back to his home country and just leave him there?
It doesn't make any fucking sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
So they send the most at this time the only sort of super villain, really powerful person back to his home country.
And another
the fuck,
the Silver Surfer, the Herald, whatever you call him.
Harold.
He was coming down to tell the world that you're going to be destroyed. He was all about that. He was taking people out. He goes into a forest, sees Jessica Alba, goes ooh boobies, and changes his whole game plan. What sort of plot device is that?
But then it's like, so everyone saw what Dr. Doom tried doing at the end of the first Fantastic Four, and then he's like, oh, the Herald's bad. He's like, well, we're going to trust this maniac we shipped back to his own country who broke out of the metal container, tried burning down New York. Yeah, that seems like a good idea. He's never going to double cross us, is he?
Do you know my favourite part of this whole film?
The end?
Was the bit
end.
Apart from that, I mean, the end and the beginning were both terrible. The CGI in this is absolutely fucking awful. The CGI is terrible, but
what, you didn't like the cloud?
Oh, it was so bad. Everything in this was. But remember the bit at the bar where Thing's dancing at the bar? Best bit of the whole film. He just stands at the guy. He looks at the guy and goes, "What?" He's just standing there doing a little wiggle and a dance. No. Best bit of the whole film.
The best part of this film is the best part of this film. The only part of this film that's worth watching is to watch Johnny Storm get turned into a mini Thing, and then watch the guy who plays the Thing throw a fireball at Johnny Storm, and then say, "No, I understand why you like doing that."
Chris Evans is still the best part of this film. Let's be honest.
Still the Thing and Chris Evans still work really well, but not good enough to even pick this film up off the floor. This film is fucking shit. Dan's not even talking. He doesn't even want to talk about this film anymore. He's like, "Can we just move on, please?" Is that what you're trying to say, Dan?
Did anybody get the celebrity voice that done the Silver Surfer?
Oh, it's Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, Morpheus.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I still don't care.
Originally, he was going to voice Galactus. I don't know how that works because I don't know what the fuck Galactus.
What was he going to do? Go.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Coming out of this film, I knew nothing about Galactus. I know nothing about the Silver Surfer. I feel like I know less now from watching this film than I did back then.
Yeah, because it just leaves you on. It just leaves you sitting there going, "So."
I go to say something, and then I just zone out and remember a terrible scene. Like when you two saw me then, in my head, I was like, "How long did the Silver Surfer orbit the planet at the start?" Like, I know sometimes you need to fill out a bit of time. Him orbiting the planet goes on way too long.
I don't understand his powers either. Like, his powers are so... Like, there's nothing that geezer can't do when he's on that surfboard.
Well, the idea of the Silver Surfer in comics is he doesn't want to do that job, and when they find him, the whole idea of him becoming the Silver Surfer is Galactus comes to eat his planet, and he's like, no, don't eat. And he's like, why shouldn't I? He's like, well, what if I find you dead planets? Because they don't have to be living planets for him to eat it. And he's like, if I do that, will you keep my... Yeah. And he's like, yeah. So he then goes round and finds planets that are uninhabited.
Galactus can consume.
But after thousands of years,
yeah,
he starts running out of planets, so he becomes a bit dead to it. So what Sue was supposed to represent was probably reminding him of his family. What it looked like is he just went, oh my god, there's Jessica Alba in the woods.
Literally, he flew off that surfboard, was like, boobies, and he just forgot what he was doing. Right?
I just... Should have just come off it and all you heard is, I would do anything for love.
That would have been funny.
That would have been awesome.
I mean, see, this film to me, I really like the idea of the Silver Surfer, and from what I got, because I've only read one Silver Surfer comic run.
Silver Surfer Requiem?
Requiem, yeah. That's the only one I've ever read. And I really like the Silver Surfer. I think he's interesting.
Oh, he's a great character.
There's a lot to go into, and like, if you used to bring someone like the Silver Surfer into the MCU, especially now where it's gone cosmic, and you have Guardians of the Galaxy, and that, he could be a massive character.
There is talk of it actually, isn't there?
Oh, to me, this is us going off topic. To me, this is the whole reason why they haven't announced Phase 4. They want to tie up that deal with Fox because it makes so much sense. The Silver Surfer and the FF coming to Phase 4.
FF, Silver Surfer, alongside things like Nova.
X-Men's trickier, but the FF you can do a lot quicker.
Yeah, but I mean, there's so much they can do with those characters. I mean, this is the original comic books.
Oh, These are the original comic family.
But without this, there is no Marvel. And they literally dropped a fucking bomb on it.
Well,
what the fuck? You've got to be, if you've made this film and then you watch it back, you've got to be ashamed of yourself, really.
That's why they didn't make any more.
I'm going to talk about my favourite person as a reference here. So basically, what they done with Claremont's X-Men: The Last Stand, like they massacred his best work. This is what they done with Stan Lee's best work.
Yeah,
they massacred this.
Yeah, massacred it. Right.
There's a dangerous thing. You should never try to adapt what's considered a comic book writer's or artist's magnum opus.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Best thing about this film is that it was the last time that Marvel made a film before Kevin Feige went, hold my beer. Do you know what I mean? That's the best thing about this film. It's the last time they made a film before he was like, I've got this, trust me.
Yeah, where he finally just went bollocks to it.
Yeah.
Guys, can you see that in the distance?
In the distance.
It's the MCU.
The MCU.
We made it.
Right,
just before we do go into an advert and move on, I do actually want to score this. I am going to start with our comic books fan.
3 out of 10.
You gave it a 3?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I have the previous
scores. Did you give it a 3?
Yeah.
That's high.
How are you going?
That's generous.
It had the guy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine in it. I actually got to see the Silver Surfer, and it meant that they weren't making any more films after this for quite a few years.
Go on then, what did you give it?
There was a couple of bits I enjoyed, a couple of funny bits. Yeah, I think I'd probably give it a 3 as well.
I can't believe either one of you have given it a 3. I don't ever want to watch this film again. It's got a 1. Just fucking turn it off. Okay. It's awful.
So in comparison then to...
It's not even a Lukey, is it?
The first film.
You guys have raised it above Lukey status. I hope you're ashamed of yourselves.
What was the rate for a Lukey again?
5.
I hope you guys are ashamed of yourself.
So the first time round, the first film we gave 14 out of 30.
Yeah.
That was obviously 32 out of 48.
Yeah.
This one's obviously got 7 out of 30, and it was 39 out of 48. So there's not a massive difference in the Marvel rankings. It's a bit of a difference in ours. Literally half of their ranking.
It was awful. And on that note, we need a break. And we're back, and it has begun. We've got past. Okay. So if you didn't get what that was, we have finally reached the first official film of the MCU. We've got past I mean, there are some good films back behind us that we've gone over. There's some films that we could never have done without, because if without those films, we might not have had what we now have as the MCU. But going into it, this is the groundbreaking film. This is the one that set us all up. This is the one that took us in, and we were just like, wow, this is what we want from comic book films, and it completely changed the industry. I'm talking about Iron Man 1, or just Iron Man, as it was called. So straight in there with Scott, give us a rough outline. Let's set up view.
We're going to upview the film. So basically, I'll tell you what, I'm going to do this differently first. I think we need to pay some time to Robert Downey Jr. first. And then we're going to come back with the upview and stuff later on.
It's impossible.
Alright, this is my little bit. Basically, as a kid, I wanted to be an actor.
If you hear sounds of fapping in the background, ladies and gentlemen, it's because he does have a man crush.
The love is real.
I ain't getting comfort.
The love is real. Basically, as a kid, I wanted to be an actor, and I was going to be an actor for two reasons. Two performances changed my life. One was Anthony Hopkins in Silence of the Lambs, and the other one was Robert Downey Jr. in a film called Chaplin, which I saw, which is the story of Charlie Chaplin. That was in 1992, which he won, where he got nominated for a Best Actor in the Oscars, and he won a BAFTA for Best Actor.
I can't believe he didn't win an Oscar for Charlie Chaplin.
I've got to do it before you get too in depth. Scott, why didn't you become an actor? Or was it usually in between the two, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory films? That hasn't made a new Wizard of Oz in like 60 years. I can't get
Fair enough. Well done, Dan. Well done. Go on, little fella.
Can I carry on?
Yeah, go on.
So between 1992 and
Can I finish?
So between 92 and 96, Robert Downey Jr. obviously struggled with massive addiction that would put many of people I know to shame. But he did make some great films. The Last Party, Natural Born Killers, which I think few people have seen.
Oh yes,
must have seen Natural Born Killers.
Woody Harrelson as well, isn't it?
Yeah, fantastic movie.
I fucking love Woody
And
Harrelson.
Two Guys and a Girl. That was from 92 to 96. Basically, in 1996, he was arrested driving down Sunset Boulevard, off his tits on cocaine, heroin. He had a loaded Magnum in the car and was eating Burger King naked. So he spent 6 months in prison for that. When he came out of prison, between 96 and 99, he was still struggling, but still making some incredible films.
Yeah.
Which got him the reputation as the actor of his generation, which I think is fair. In 1999, he was arrested again because he was off his tits on black tar heroin, wandered into his neighbour's house and fell asleep in their little girl's bed, which he got arrested and sentenced to 3 years in prison. He only did one.
No.
He came out in 2000 and he joined the cast of probably my favourite TV show, No Sniggering, which was Ally McBeal, which he was phenomenal in. He won an Emmy for that and he won a Golden Globe for Best Actor. He got fired from that job after one season because on the Thanksgiving celebration, he was off his tits on heroin again, surrounded by 25 hookers in a hotel room eating cold turkey. So, but in the time between that and 2008, he again, still struggling with his addictions, made another run of incredible films, including Zodiac, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. He was also nominated for several awards. And then we come to 2008, when he signed on to do Iron Man.
I mean, you just got to take all this into context, right? This man has basically been off his tits for 10 years.
Incredible.
And on Nick Scott's film fact about the significance of the burger in Iron Man.
But he literally has been off his tits for 10 fucking years and still pumped out films. Yeah, longer than that.
His dad made him smoke a joint.
He smoked a joint at 9 years old.
Jesus. So, okay, he spent the majority of his life off his tits, pretty much. Yet, this whole time, he's been pumping out classic after classic
He's
as well.
just an amazing actor.
He just does it well.
There's a line in Iron Man 2 that I think sums him up perfectly. Never has a phoenix from the ashes metaphor been better personified. He's just an amazing person as well. Like, he's just a natural. He's awesome. Like, his natural outlook on life and the way he is as a person is fantastic.
Well, yeah.
So all hail Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, definitely, because the other thing that he did with this film, he took on this role. Well, he took this role to a whole new level, and we wouldn't have the Iron Man that we have in the MCU, and even now, I believe, in the comic books, Dan.
Yeah, they kind of like done it backwards. They tailored the comics now more to Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, so we actually, as both comic fans and film fans, owe Downey Jr. a lot.
Well, his big thing before was he was an alcoholic in the comics. That's why, like, the best known comic one for him was Demon in a Bottle.
Yeah,
I've heard of that. I've actually heard of that one. Yeah,
it's a good read.
So go on then.
So let's
continue on with your film facts. Have you
why
done?
don't we do the comic one first and then do the films? Because obviously there's probably more comics.
What about an upview?
Want an upview of the film?
Go on then.
Basically, the film starts with Tony Stark being a businessman, playboy, philanthropist, and he's on his way to sell
billionaire playboy philanthropist.
Yeah.
Sorry,
not a Harold.
Not a Harold.
And he's on his way to sell his new selection of arsenal to the military government.
Yeah.
Where he's attacked by terrorists, kidnapped and stuck in a cave, and they want him to build a Gemini rocket for them.
Yeah.
He, with the help of, and I always forget this geezer's name, with the help of a certain person, he escapes.
Yeah.
Works out that he can use an arc reactor to build a suit, flies back, starts working on said suit, and because he saw the fact that all the people in the army were killed by his rockets, he then wants to change his whole business to make it more humanitarian.
Yeah. But also, he wanted to stop the sale of arms to the terrorists and stuff like that. The illegal under the table stuff.
He wants to stop the whole. He wants to pull Stark Industries out of
weapons.
That weapons.
Yeah.
He thinks his dad's best friend, Obadiah
Stane.
Thank you. I always get his name wrong. He's going to help him, but really he's playing behind him. He was the man who put Tony in the cave originally.
Yeah. He's the actual bad guy.
He's the actual bad guy of the whole thing. So Tony's working on his Iron Man suits, builds his Iron Man suits, tests his Iron Man suits. He fights against people that will come back up later in the series, but not for the right reasons. Is it 12 or 10 rings? 10 rings. He goes and fights them. He then comes back and has to battle his dad's best mate, who becomes Warmonger. All this time flirting with Pepper Potts, pissing off Rhodey and the American government. To it leads to one battle at the end where he blows up an arc reactor and kills a Warmonger.
Cool.
That's pretty much the basis of that film, but there's so much in this.
So there's your overview. That is very rough.
That's a very rough overview.
Let's go into here, clicking his fingers already. He's ready for us. Go on then, comics guy.
Iron Man's first appearance, Tales of Suspense, 39, in 1963.
Wow.
And a little fact about why Stan Lee actually wrote this character. He wanted to write a character that he didn't like and didn't agree with his views because he wanted to challenge himself.
Really? So he wrote someone that was
everything,
completely against everything he stood for.
Yeah, but he can't take sole credit for this because Iron Man was created by Stan Lee, Larry Lieber, Don Heck and Jack Kirby.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, big collaboration.
Obadiah Stane first appeared in Iron Man 163 as the Ironmonger. Rhodes' first appearance was in Iron Man 118. Pepper Potts was in Tales of Suspense 45. And I did have Happy Hogan somewhere. I can't remember where he's hiding now. Oh, sorry, yeah. Pepper and Happy Hogan were both in Tales of Suspense 45.
That's their first appearances.
And away from the comics, those two are, away from the films, those two are actually the couple. They actually leave working for Iron Man, try to settle down, get married, try to have kids, and it was only shortly before the film that they actually killed off Hogan.
Damn.
Really?
And he's been dead in the comics since.
Jesus.
And the origin of Rhodes in the comics, was originally Iron Man rescued him during the Vietnam War, and that Rhodes helped him via a plane. They both got back to America, and he offered him a job because he was that impressed with him working for him. So,
because the suit that we see that he first builds in this film is obviously an arc back to the original Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
Because the original Iron Man suit, that is actually what it looked like, but it was gold, I believe. Yeah. There was a silver and a gold.
Grey, then a gold, and then what we know now.
Yeah. So
it was set in the Vietnam War, wasn't it? The first.
Yeah, this was kind of like Stan Lee's kind of having his say about the Vietnam War as he kind of used Iron Man.
Yeah. But basically, so that first suit that he builds in the cave is sort of, it goes back to that. Any more comic book facts you want to give us?
Touching upon what I said before, Stan Lee created Iron Man as a vehicle for Cold War themes, and that's why he's always changed over times to fit the theme at the whoever's writing it.
So hence in the film they continued that along because they brought it into the Middle East sort of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that really went along well with it. So they've always sort of used it as a bit of a political statement against the wars.
Yeah.
With Iron Man, which
and
is it's cool.
As we all know, in the comics, I've just forgot his name. Damn it!
Which one?
I've literally got it in front of me as well. Rhodes.
Rhodes. Oh, how can you forget that?
Yeah, Rhodes actually become Iron Man when Tony stepped away due to the demon in Bulwark, and I actually, through researching this, went out and bought that very issue where he takes over for the first time.
Oh really?
Please don't let that happen in the films.
Oh no, it won't. Hopefully they kill him off.
Fuck you, Don Cheadle.
He's an Oscar winner, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
So film facts.
Right.
I want to know. Do you know what I really want to know? Right, because this is a big one. I want to know how much it cost and how much it made. That's the first thing I want to know.
This film was obviously released in 2008. It's been in production since the year 2000, right?
It took 8 years.
It took 8 years to actually get it from where it was.
So I know one of the actors who was first attached.
Well, originally...
Oh, was it Tom Cruise?
Yeah. This film was originally...
Stole a fact.
This film was originally made for Tom Cruise. It was a Tom Cruise film. They wanted Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise was going to produce it.
It was going to be at Paramount, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. Until Marvel really got their shit together, because this is the first self-funded film that Marvel done. That's why it took so long to come on board.
If I'm right, I don't know if I'm nicking another fact, but this was basically all their eggs in one basket for Marvel, wasn't it?
It was their first big attempt, yeah.
Because this
was like hit or bust.
This and Incredible Hulk were filmed pretty much the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And they took the loan out to make the two films, and the idea was that the Incredible Hulk was the established character and would make more money.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be the £500 million film, and Iron Man would, to get established. And it flipped.
It flipped massively.
Yeah.
Well, in the meantime, between 2000 and 2008, there were several directors attached to this film. One of them, you'll love, the other one is fucking bonkers. The first director that was attached to this film is Quentin Tarantino.
Wow.
Thank Christ he didn't direct
Very
it.
different fucking movie.
Yeah, it would have been...
I spoke to several others, including Josh Whedon, who nearly signed on to do it. But
I would have liked him to do it.
Yeah,
Josh Whedon would have made more sense.
Yeah.
Tarantino would have.
Tarantino, I just feel like every Tarantino film, it's a lover to spaghetti westerns and slashers. So someone else would have been coming off.
I can't even imagine a Josh Whedon version of this. If I'm honest, it would have been Tarantino version of this.
I can imagine Josh Whedon.
Yeah,
Sarah Michelle Gellar would be Pepper Potts. David Benares would have been Iron Man.
Aha!
Right, so Pepper Potts, because it took me a while to find out, because originally I always thought that Gwyneth was the first choice. Turns out she actually wasn't. The first choice for this role was Rachel McAdams, so you'll probably know her from Doctor Strange. His love interest in Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
She was the first choice for it, but she turned it down because she thought superhero films were silly. Now she's come back.
Oh yeah, funny
years
that.
later, kicking her heels.
Funny that. I know another person that played Pepper Potts that did that as well.
yeah, she's come back.
Funny that.
Just before Robert Downey Jr., because I'm going to build up to 2008. Just before Robert Downey Jr. come on board, which was when Jon Favreau came on board, there was another person that was pretty much sure was going to play Iron Man because Tom Cruise pulled out, and that was the guy who plays Arnie Hammer in the second one. Hammer Industries.
Oh, Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell.
Was he really?
He was going to be Iron Man originally.
I can see that.
But then,
yeah.
Now, 2008, Jon Favreau signs on to do a film. Jon Favreau is a huge Marvel fan, loves the film.
No, I would have never guessed.
Right, so Jon Favreau, before doing this, he done Elf. He done the original Jumanji sequel called, I can never pronounce it, Safari.
Strange name.
It's spelled Zathura. It's set in space. It's really good. If you haven't seen it, it's a good film.
I know what you're talking about.
I know what you're talking about. He signed on, and there was only one man that he wanted to play the part.
And that was Downey Jr.
And the quote.
Actually, it was me, but I turned it down.
The quote, which I will. The quote he said was, he went into the board and said, "Listen, if I'm going to make this film, there's only one man I want playing the part, Robert Downey Jr." And they said, "Why?" He said, "Because he's a lovable arsehole." And that's what Tony Stark is.
Yeah, no, that's a perfect description.
That's how he got the job. So
he's a lovable arsehole.
He said, "You look at Robert Downey Jr. He is Tony Stark. He's a lovable arsehole. Look what he's been through. There's no one else got the part." Now, this film was made for a ridiculously small budget. It was 140 million. That was it.
Wow.
When you look at it, Spider-Man 3 was pretty much double that. It was a really small budget. Obviously, like Dan said, they wasn't expecting a lot from it. I was expecting it to do okay. Hulk was going to carry the burden. £140 million budget. It made 98 million opening weekend in the United States of America.
Christ.
In the UK, it made 7 million. Well, 5 million, but inflation 7 million.
Yeah.
It finished on 585 million world gross.
That's fucking nuts.
Smashed the fucking life out of it. It was.
So the profit they made from this basically just built Marvel's like cinematics.
I paid back their loan.
It paid back their loans and gave them a massive
Marvel
profit
is
on
the
top
house
of
that
it.
Iron Man built, right? Unfortunately, and Kevin Feige always says this was a massive kick in the teeth. It comes second in 2008.
To who?
Dark Knight.
Bosh. It only it only made 2 million less than Dark Knight at the box office. When you put that in perspective,
2 million.
Hold on. 2 million less in the US, not domestically.
Well, in the US, not world gross.
Yeah, I was about to say because the world gross is quite a bit different.
I think it's like 900. It's nearly close to $1 billion.
1.001 billion.
Jesus.
They re-released it just before the Dark Knight Rises to get over $1 billion.
Yeah. Well, so this was.
That's shit.
Yeah, it beats us classics as Indiana Jones 4.
Oh,
Wall-E.
you're having a laugh. Did you just call that a classic?
Wall-E, Quantum of Solace, and surprisingly, Mamma Mia, because that was a huge film, so I thought that might have been up there more.
So all of those films I hate.
Okay.
I don't know, Wall-E was good.
Oh no, yeah,
Pixar film.
Wall-E.
Okay, film facts.
Eve.
We're going to break some of these up because I've got quite a few.
He's about the same size as Wall-E.
Is there any heralds?
There's no heralds in this.
I reckon
no.
he could fit in Wally's belly.
There is an Agent Coulson. Agent Coulson was supposed to, originally, there's a joke.
He doesn't exist, does he? He's not a real character.
He's one of the few that was in visual media before the comic.
Well, originally, there's a joke that me and you like, Logan.
Nick and shit.
There's a joke me and you like from Avengers when he comes up in a lift and he goes, his name's Agent.
Oh, hi Phil. His name's Agent.
That originally because when the first film was made, his name's Agent. He didn't have a name for pretty much the whole of his shooting. It was only Robert Downey Jr. went, look, we've got to give you a name because it was going to seem silly otherwise. So Agent Coulson was born. Otherwise, he was going to be called Agent. Jon Favreau liked the idea that he was like a Men in Black type
Man
character.
with no name.
Yeah, pretty much. Robert Downey Jr. made a lot of his lines up. Jon Favreau liked the idea that it would be quite loose and free, so a lot of this was ad-libbed.
Did he really?
Yeah, he would do up to 20 takes per film, per shot, which Gwyneth Paltrow hated because she can't ad-lib. So they call it massive act. Yeah, or act. Surprisingly.
She what? What's that?
She can't, but she's not a really great actress, is she?
Is she not?
Did you like her work? Well, she's done one good film. If we're going to do Gwyneth Paltrow, in fact, she's done one. She's done Shakespeare in Love, which was good. She won an Oscar for that. Other than that,
oh no, I thought she was just in Iron Man.
The story of that film right away.
Go on.
That script wasn't sent to her; it was sent to her roommate, Winona Ryder, and she accepted it.
She stole it. Yes, she did. How pissed would you be?
What cunt?
Paul Bettany done all of his Jarvis lines in 2 hours, and he said about it, I done all my work in 2 hours, didn't know what a film was, and I made a shit ton of money.
And that was only because they'd worked on a really weird film with Heath Ledger years earlier, wasn't it?
Dr. Panas. Oh no, it was A Knight's Tale.
Yeah, that was it. That was
I love A
he
Knight's
was
Tale.
in it.
That's brilliant. Knight's Tale is fantastic.
Does
Do you not like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just like a weird thing from the Nairobi.
Scott, what? Go on. What's wrong with Knight's Tale?
No, I love Knight's Tale.
Okay, that's right.
Does anybody know what Jarvis stands for?
Oh, I did know this.
Oh, he's fucking hitting up
because
down
in
here.
the comics, Jarvis is an actual person. He's the actual butler.
He's the butler.
He's based on his dad's butler, but in this film version, it's based on words.
And if you want to know more about Jarvis, watch Agent Carter. That ABC cancelled.
Yeah, fucking great show.
Yeah, I never watched it because
show.
I can't find it anywhere.
Great show.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Jarvis stands for just a very intelligent system. It's that simple.
Fair enough.
The Mandarin was supposed to be the big villain in this film. Because basically, coming into this, Jon Favreau had an idea that he wanted the Mandarin to be like a Darth Vader kind of character. That he was all seeing all bad over the 3 films.
Vanessa.
But obviously Shane Black come in and fucked that up royally in the last one. So the Mandarin was the original villain. The final press conference was filmed as a dream, where he comes out and fuck you, I'm Iron Man. That's obviously based on a comic, which I think Dan's going to probably have more facts on. That was actually a dream.
Yeah, just drop him in it, Scott. Well done.
That was a dream. They filmed it as a dream sequence. They wouldn't spoil the ending. And the whole bit where they come back and he's got a cheeseburger, which Dan's going to come back to. That was all Robert Downey Jr. He said, everyone sit down, sit down. They'd been filming for about 6 hours. He was tired. He just said, I've had enough. Everyone just sit down and we'll do this like this. So that was another Robert Downey Jr. thing that he done, which worked perfectly.
Well, so they weren't supposed to sit down.
No, he
originally.
used to say everyone just sit down. That's why everyone looked bemused
The
when they were
first
doing
press conference with the cheeseburger, the significance is that Robert Downey Jr. says that it was a cheeseburger that changed his life.
Why?
The final time he went to rehab to sort himself out, he said he remembers driving through the desert, stopped for something to eat, sitting on a car with a boot full of cocaine, had the burger and went, what am I doing with my life? This burger's awful. Sat there, thought about it and drove himself to rehab. So he wanted the burger put in as a kind of almost reference for the new beginning of
Iron Man
Tony
as well.
Stark.
Yeah, Tony Stark. Ah, so he's got a very personal thing to Robert Downey Jr. then.
I'm trying to get through these film facts quick so we can talk about the film. The Iron Man suit was made up of 450 bits
Fuck.
to put together because it was actually an Iron Man suit built for the set. It was the only time they'd done it. The rest of it was all CGI. Rhodey. Do we talk about Rhodey leaving or not? Do you want to wait for the second?
There's more to do with the second one.
More for the second film? Okay. Howard Stark was going to be Warmonger in this film, so I don't know if he was in the comics. But originally, in the first draft of this, Howard Stark was going to be alive. Didn't like the way Tony was trying to do with the company, and he became Warmonger to fight Tony in his new suit.
That wouldn't have made sense to me. Not with where they eventually have gone now with it.
The 10 Rings logo is all over this film because, as I said,
Yeah.
Jon Favreau wanted to make it a big bad throughout the rest of the films.
Yeah.
Tarantino, I've done that one. Joss Whedon, I've done that one. Okay, I've got some basic facts in terms of the universe they're trying to create here in terms of Tony Stark, right?
Yeah.
I don't know whether this differs from the comics. It probably does. It would cost £8.4 billion a year to be Iron Man, to live the life that he does, right? That has rose. So in this first film, he would need to earn 1.6 billion to sustain the life that we see him lead. By the time we get to Avengers, he would need to be earning 8.6 billion. In this film, Tony Stark is worth $12.6 billion. Stark Industries is valued at $32 billion. So that's the kind of world that Tony Stark... Because everyone always asks, like, how much money has that fucking geezer got to be able to do all of this? They're the kind of basic things that they were working on. That's what Feige wanted to portray Tony Stark as. And I'm going to leave my film facts there for a second and just talk about the film.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously we've done a few facts.
Who doesn't like it?
We've done a few facts, which is good. We know basically what this film is about. I didn't know what I was walking into. I'd read a couple of Avengers.
You just read Civil War.
Yeah, so I had a brief outlook on Tony Stark. What I expected was a very serious sort of leader, sort of person. This is what I expected going into this film. I didn't know much about the background of Tony Stark being alcoholic or anything. I loved what Robert Downey Jr. did to Tony Stark. I fucking loved it. And the whole transition of it. It was just like, you know, him being this, like you said, the billionaire playboy philanthropist, to go from that to this guy that is trying to rectify everything that his company and his name has done throughout the globe. It was fantastic. This whole film was just made for us. Yeah. It was made for people like us. They've done everything they could to make a film that we would all love and know forever and all the rest of it. And it doesn't matter how many times we watch this film, the funny parts of this film, the things that are said, the different quotes in it, are fantastic. You know, the bit where he's like all dented up after the first time and he's trying to get the suit taken off of him and they all just stop.
See?
Like even the robots are embarrassed and he's like, let's face it, this isn't the worst thing you've ever seen me doing. You know, it's like...
See, I'm like my unsung hero of this film. He has my favourite line as well. This film is good, but it needs Jeff Bridges as Obadiah Stane. Because you need the dude from The Big Lebowski, because he's one of the only people who can deliver a line like... He's like, we can't do the suit. Tony Stark built this suit in a cave.
It's just better and better, isn't it? He has got a bit of fucking Obadiah about him as well.
Yeah, you are very... You're a very...
I've had someone went to me and said, you look like a young Obadiah Stane. I was like, yes!
You are Obadiah-esque.
Yeah.
But yeah, once again, so you got Downey Jr.'s performance in there, and then you've got Bridges' performance in there.
I didn't know Jeff Bridges could do intimidating to that film. Like, he's all
and
laughing
not
and jokey,
even,
and then suddenly turns, doesn't he?
Not even a little bit intimidating. The guy's, he's a maniac.
Yeah.
Like, you genuinely, he's a fucking psychopath. And you really get that feeling that he's a psychopath. Like, when he's in that tent with the terrorist, and he does the buzzer thing, and he's whispering in that guy's ear. You know what I mean? And like, just the nonchalant way that he walks out of that tent and everyone's dead. Do you know what I mean? Like, his men have killed everyone. It's just so scary that someone could be that nonchalant about death.
It's like the event as well, ain't it? He puts his arm on Tony. He's like, "Who do you think cut you out of the company?"
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the other thing when he does it to Tony Stark. He just like, but then the other side of that, and you've got Tony Stark walking upstairs, and he's like, "You brought pizza." What have I done? He said, just because I brought pizza bag doesn't mean you've done anything wrong.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that sort of shit.
It was perfectly cast.
He's such a friendly,
you need
like, father figure to Tony Stark.
Yeah.
And then you just see this absolute psycho in the background. You're just like, what the fuck?
You need him. He works even better because he really lets Downey Jr. flourish. It's like he is the straight man throughout, and then when he makes his turn, even though you kind of know it's coming at that point, you're like,
yeah.
Oh, this is getting sinister. Like where Pepper's getting the bits and he's just standing over her, watching her leave.
He's a big guy as well, and I think it works well that obviously Downey Jr. Like obviously all the jokes at my expense. Downey Jr. is the same height as me. He's 5'7".
And I'm 5'7".
Huh?
You're not 4'7".
So, and then when they cast him in this film, Jon Favreau said to him, like, "I need you to wear lifts in your shoes, so you're taller and bigger." And he wouldn't do it. And when you look
Downey
at them,
Jr.?
Yeah, and when you look at the size difference with them, he looks intimidating because he's such a big guy.
Jeff Bridges is what, 6'3"?
He's got to be.
It's basically, if you want the actual representation, stand me next to Scott, and you've got Obadiah Stane and Tony Stark.
Yeah, it literally is.
Yeah.
It literally is. If you stood these two together, because he's not. It's not just so much he's overbearing height.
We'll do that at a cosplay event one day.
He's actually built
He's
like a brick shit house as
Look
well.
at Downey Jr. as well. Like Downey, and I know this. Like Downey Jr. put on some muscle for that role.
I know.
Like him and Terence Howard got into a bench off, didn't they? At points.
Sorry, Scott. What was that?
Did, yeah. So Terence Stamp could bench 252 pounds. Terence
Howard.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Terence Stamp. Terence Howard was like doing. Obviously, they were doing benching on set, and Robert Downey Jr. is so competitive. Terence Howard could bench more than him, so he's benching like 250. Rob Downey was on like 235 in the end, and he just kept doing it, and so much so that Terence Howard nearly popped his shoulder out trying to beat Robert Downey Jr. But Robert Downey Jr. actually put on muscle, like you say, put on muscle for this. He went up to 170 pounds.
Oh, you look at him.
For someone as small as you, I mean, that's...
Yeah, and you think he was a beanpole.
For me and Jeff Bridges, we just lift up someone like Tony or Scott, like that.
Yeah.
1, 2.
Yeah.
Throw you out the door. But no, it also shows... there's another thing there as well. It's the brains over brawn. Like, I don't know if you got that reference, which is like, you know, Tony Stark basically outsmarts the bad guy.
Dan said it, didn't he? Like Tony Stark made this in a cave. Like, made the arc reactor in a cave.
Yeah.
But you know, I think
Dan said it much better than that. But yeah.
Tony made this in a cave.
You needed someone like Robert Downey Jr. to play this part, I think. Like, because he's such a good actor, there are some real stakes in this film. Like some real emotional pulls where he's trying to work out who his dad really was.
Who he really is.
Yeah, Tony's arc through this film, no pun intended, of trying to change the business completely, falling in love with Pepper, arguing with Rhodey and all that kind of stuff. You needed someone that could pull off both parts of it, not just the action, but the depth of the character, and I think he does that fantastically.
But to make a new character as well, because he did make a new character, and to almost ad-lib the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
It takes a different kind of actor to do that. So it's one of these things that I keep hailing back to, and it fucks me off every time because I know that it annoys the hell out of Dan. Is to have that standard of acting in a comic book film, because it's happened since in a film called Logan as well. To have such a high standard of acting in a comic book film, and it just gets wrote off because it's a superhero film. Just gets wrote off.
He did win some awards. I don't know if
Saturn Awards.
Yeah, but
they won a Saturn Award.
You always will. See, it's why
MTV movie award.
It's like why me and Dan have always turned around and said we or I hold in higher esteem, an award that's voted for by the people than that's voted for by the Academy.
Well, so the Academy is peers voting for himself, which is fair enough because there's nothing like getting your colleagues vote for you.
Yeah.
But I've always paid attention to the Saturn Awards because that's the kind of films I watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, which makes more sense. But what I'm saying is this film has completely, from this film and another film from an alternate comic book.
You get loads of it.
You know.
You got.
But what I'm saying is, between this film and The Dark Knight,
Yeah.
Batman Begins.
See,
As
Dark
well.
Knight is the film that won the Oscar.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
One of them.
but from with
Heath.
with Heath Ledger, yeah. But from these two films coming out, it basically was saying, look, comic book films are not a joke anymore.
Well, they showed you could do things.
In
They showed you could film ultra realism.
Yeah.
And they're showing that a comic book film didn't just have to be tights and capes. You can have a subgenre.
Yeah.
Like
this is what one of the other things as well. Like as you explained to me, because I didn't understand this at first. I just went into films because I'm not the comic books guy or the films guy. I go in there as a normal bloke, but one of the things I never understood until it was pointed out to me, I think by both of you guys, was the subgenre of these films. You know, so continuing on, they all took another genre. So yes, it's a superhero film, but it's more than that. Yeah. It's also its own sort of film as well. Do you know what I mean? What is Iron Man?
Some
other than a
people
comic
like
book film?
their boxes all set out, and I'm one of them. I like to tip it out and put it all together.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. You're looking at actors like Robert Downey Jr. He's not going to sign on to be Iron Man. There has to be a crux to the character, and there has to be a reason to play the character. And obviously, the points of that is Tony's arc through this film is what excites Robert Downey Jr. It's what excites Jeff Bridges. So you have to have more than just he's in an iron suit blowing stuff up. That's not going to get the job done. I think we owe Jon Favreau a huge thank you as well, because this man, like even the music, they went in with the music with Kevin Feige, and they had composers doing music, and he sat and listened to all of it. Apparently, it's 4 hours. He sat there listening to all the music, and he was like, "No, we're going to go with AC/DC."
Like he shoot to kill.
Yeah, he was just like, "No, I think we're going to go with rock music and just go with AC/DC." So he was the whole feeling of this film is Jon Favreau. To be fair to him, like, you couldn't make it about Robert Downey Jr., but Jon Favreau was the one pulling the strings.
Well, The Dark Knight is very much Nolan's vision, and this is very much Favreau and Feige's.
Yeah,
there's two
absolutely.
names. You should not try to say one after the other. No, I was going to say, but that was the wonder of 2008.
But what? See, I still have yet to place this film. So what would you say it was apart from just a comic book film? Because like obviously you got Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier's an espionage thriller.
Espionage.
Yeah.
You've got sci-fi and comic books. So what would this film be? A lot. It could almost be a fucking drama.
Do you know what I think it is? I think it's a personal love story for Robert Downey Jr. You look at the character of Tony Stark. He has one big thing. He's imprisoned in this film. Comes out and rebuilds his life, which is exactly what Robert Downey Jr. had to do months before.
And this is one of the last Marvel films that does this. It only falls back into one cliche of comic book films. This would have been better without the big fight going through the city. But that's the cliche at the time. It's like, we need a big fight in the city, and it was only from this film. That's the one knock I ever give it.
Yeah.
They should have shortened the ending and made it more personal, and that would have given it an extra mark from me.
They didn't need the whole
nitpicking.
They didn't need the whole on the freeway with the cars coming at it and big robots fighting in the middle of the streets.
That's only because of what Marvel then done after. Like this, when you watch it back, you're like, yeah, that's the only thing that feels out of place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've got to be honest. Like I was in the cinema watching this on my own.
In a high chair.
Of being a Robert Downey Jr. fan, I went to see this opening day. And at the end, it has the best ending of any film for me, or any superhero film has the best ending.
What, Samuel Jackson waiting in your apartment?
No, Samuel Jackson bit I'll come to, but the bit at the end where he has a press conference and he's got his script and he's like, just no, I'm not a superhero type. Like, it's just not me. And I was sitting there, I was like, they're going to wrap it up, and then, you know what? I am Iron Man. I was in the cinema. Yeah, I was in the cinema. And the cinema must have had about 40 people in. I went, yes, because it was the best ending I've ever seen. That is a fantastic ending to a film.
Yeah,
like,
completely
fuck
unexpected.
You, I'm Iron Man.
Yeah.
It fits everything. It sets everything up. It's fantastic.
It's very Downey Jr. as well.
Yeah,
it fits the character.
But the real ending of the film
made.
Yes,
is what Marvel started as a ongoing tradition.
Yeah, everybody knows now because the dirty looks that we give people if they get up from a Marvel film. Where the fuck's he going?
But this was how this was like a military operation to film this Nick Fury bit because they didn't want anyone knowing.
It was only started as a kind of a weird bit of a joke, wasn't it? A bit of banter between us. Like, oh, it'd be good to have like Nick Fury. I wonder if we could get Sammy J.
Well, if you look at the film,
really,
so
it was just a bit of a joke.
Yeah, well, Favreau wanted to connect. Favreau wanted all different superhero bits in it, like Captain America's shield, and it was he wanted that because he loves superheroes. And it was Feige didn't come up with the idea of, well, let's just do a fucking universe. Let's have them all in here. See if we can do that. And they had a laugh in the joke, like he said with Samuel L. Jackson, like, Trey, would you do a little cameo for us, like for a laugh? And that's how it all came about.
But everyone knows that Samuel Jackson.
Because in the Ultimate Comics,
because Samuel L. Jackson will do anything.
Well, this was like a weird comic thing. In the Ultimate Comics, which is apart from the main Marvel universe, they used Samuel Jackson's likeness to be Nick Fury.
Oh, really?
So so when the film came about, being that the other one looks like David Hasselhoff, I know what one I'd rather cast as Nick Fury.
Yeah, Hasselhoff every day.
Yeah,
but
Hasselfrau. Zandu Hasselfrau.
Zandu Hasselfrau.
Yeah, we could talk about this film for a very, very long time, like another hour probably. We've got to give it its due. This is the film that started the MCU. This is where it all begins. This is where it all begun. It's what led to, I think, for all three of us, the greatest run of films, comic book films.
Still going.
That is still going on in our lives. I don't think you ever thought, either one of you, thought that you would ever see anything like what the MCU have built with Feige and Favreau and Downey Jr. and everyone else that started it to what it is now, and it's still ongoing. You know what I mean?
The consistency of it is amazing.
It's fantastic.
It's amazing.
I mean, even the lowest films, in my opinion, are only around about a 6 or a 7.
It starts occasionally, but when you're up to about 24 films, you are going to have a star.
Yeah. You can afford the odd one.
Let's score this bitch. This is
I'm gonna go straight in there with me. I'm gonna start with me, which doesn't normally happen. I've given this a 9 out of 10, because I owe to it the last, how long now? What, 12? 10 years. I now owe to it 10 years of just pure enjoyment. Like, for 10 years. This one film has led to 10 years of my life just being a joy, because every year I know I've got something to look forward to. Scott?
Yeah, I'll go 9. There's one level above this, and I think we all know.
Yeah, we all know what film that is.
There's one level above this for me, but this is near enough as good as a superhero film is going to get for me. And it's a 9 for me as well.
Danny?
8.
8. Yeah, I knew it was going to be an 8.
Only because for me to score film an 8, a comic book film is there's not many that get it. There's very, very few that get a 9 or a 10.
Yeah, I mean, I've only to put it into context, ladies and gentlemen, I've only ever known Dan. I think you've got 3 10s.
3 comic book.
3 10s.
I've got 1 9 and 2 10
That's all he's ever done. 1 9 and 2 10s. He's very difficult to get a higher. So an 8 from him is the equivalent of a 9 or a 10 from me and Dan, because he's 10. He's more like me and Scott giving it a 12.
So that's a 26 out of a 30.
Yeah,
that's fair.
You're not going to get. And there's only one film I think that's going to get a perfect score.
Ghost Rider: Spirit Adventure.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, it's definitely going to get a perfect Lukey.
So what I'm going to try and play. What out of 48? Where do you think this came in the Marvel standings?
In the Marvel standings,
we're doing this financially or critically.
So it's all gross.
It's all gross. It's actually because now it's not, because it made a lot of money, but it didn't make as much.
It's going to come about 12?
Middle, 12? Yeah, 15.
15. Ooh, 14 out of 48.
Fuck.
Good effort.
Yeah, especially with the new films that have all come out, it's going to knocked it further down the rankings.
Yeah, obviously now films are ridiculous, but
But yeah, no.
Come to the end of our first MCU adventure. It's been emotional.
We have reached the beginning. So
It's a fucking relief.
So actually,
nice.
oh fuck, what's the next films?
Oh.
Incredible Hulk
Yes,
And we're back.
and Punisher Warzone.
Incredible
Right.
Hulk, Punisher, Warzone.
Because we're only going to do two
We're
at
only
a
going to
time.
do two,
now.
yeah, because it just makes more sense. Because
Yeah.
some of these films,
Hopefully nothing odd or mysterious will happen after this episode.
don't know, one of us drops off the face of the earth, or we have a lovers' tiff. Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, you never know. Not that you two have ever had a lover's tip, and that's the reason there hasn't been a date night in about 4 months.
Right, so on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we have been the good, the great, and the Logan X, which is
Smurf Rider.
DDB Comics Guy and D3G Comics.
and Renegade Logan X. See you later, guys.
Arrivederci.
The views and opinions expressed in this show are correct, and if you don't agree, go fuck yourself.
I think we need a break from the MCU.
Yeah, I need a break from some bad films.
What do you think?
Shall we
Hellboy?
watch Hellboy, Scott?
That's a good idea. I tell you what, let me go grab my notes from the Quantum Realm.
No,
No, Scott!
Ah,
Bollocks.
shit. Fuck it, we do it, babe.
Yeah, bollocks.